What I want to talk about today is what I usually take every day on an average ride. To a lot of people, this is going to be stuff that they already know, but since we kind of cater to the new rider or someone who's just getting back into riding, I thought it might be a good idea to go over some of the things I bring, some of the things I've learned along the way, and maybe just try to share some of that information with you. So with that, let's get into it. All right, first things just to get out of the way are the obvious stuff. Number one is your helmet. Get one that's comfortable for you and fits your budget, and you'll be good to go. The second thing that we want to talk about is bring a phone. Obviously, you want to have a way to communicate to people if you get yourself injured or you get yourself in a situation that you can't get out of. Always have a means to get in touch with someone, and always ride with a buddy too, especially on trails. If you're on trails, ride with someone because you never know what's going to happen. You could fall, you could crack a rib, crazy things happen. So always ride with someone that can go get help if you need it. The next thing we want to talk about is what type of pack or device you want to use to carry your stuff. Common thing is a backpack, fanny pack. People carry things on their bicycle. I use a backpack. It's the same backpack I've been using probably for the last 5 or 6 years. I picked this up on Amazon. By the way, just about everything here you can get at Amazon. I'm not sponsored by any of this stuff. I'm not affiliated with any of this stuff. So I'm just kind of giving you just a raw review of what I have, what I like, what I don't like. But anyway, you can spend crazy amounts of money on this stuff, up to hundreds of dollars. I don't see the point in it. This one probably at the time cost me around 30, 35 bucks. I think the going price these days is about 50 bucks with inflation. I opted to get one with like a 2.5 liter bladder. Let me show that to you, which is this guy right here. I was under the mindset that more is better. Better to have too much than not enough. But in 6 years that I've been mountain biking, I have never filled this thing up to its full 2.5 liters. It gets really heavy with 2.5 liters of water. Usually I only fill maybe up to, I think that's the 1 liter mark, and I barely ever get to that level. So I think you could probably get away with something a little bit smaller that might reduce weight, because this pack does get heavy. It's durable. I'll give it that. It's lasted me 5 or 6 years. But when you load this up and you put this much water in it, you're carrying a lot of weight. So I would recommend maybe for mountain biking, if you're only going to be out for an hour or two, you probably only need a 1.5 liter bladder for your pack, and you might be able to get away with something a little bit lighter. I also did get a couple years back a fanny pack that I did try that has a smaller water bladder in it. I used it once and I actually stopped using it for mountain biking, and I'll tell you why. 2 reasons actually. One, even though the sizing of it said it would fit someone like myself at the time with a 36-inch waist, it was a tough squeeze. In fact, because like the water piece actually goes around your waist and then has like a little magnetic clip. And I'll be honest with you, and I'm embarrassed to say that my belly would just pop this thing out. The second reason was I found that when this thing sits low on the back of your waist, there was 1 or 2 times where if I was off in the bike a little bit and was like kind of off the seat and had to get low, when I would come back up, the nose of the seat was grabbing the back of this pack, and I'd have a hard time getting back on my seat. And if you're doing something a little bit sketchy or a little bit rough, it was a little harrowing because I was really out of position and my weight was forward, and I had a hard time getting myself unlatched and back on without crashing. So I stopped using this for mountain biking. I may go back to try to use this when I ride on the road, because I want to maybe get the water off of my back and actually use the tried and true water bottle that I can put in my cage on the bike that I ride on the road. I can't do this on my mountain bike because the way the suspension sits, there is no place to put a water cage or a water bottle cage. in the frame. It actually mounts like underneath on the down tube, which I just don't want to do because it's just going to get dirty and muddy and stuff. So I have to use some sort of backpack to carry water on my mountain bike. But like I said, I don't recommend using that on the trail whatsoever. So let's talk about what I actually put in the pack besides water. And I think the number one thing is a way to change a flat tire. It sounds ridiculous that I have to say that, but you would be surprised how many times I'll be out on our local bike trail and I see people all the time making the dreaded walk back to their car because they got a flat tire and now they're 4 miles away from the parking lot where they parked, and now they got to walk back their bike to this trail because they didn't bring anything to change a flat tire. It seems like a no-brainer that you should have these type of things, but so many people don't do it. So bring a spare pump. I just have a cheap pump that, I don't know, this thing probably costs like $12 or $15. A basic patch kit. If you're running tubes, you can use a patch kit and get yourself back up and running. If you're running tubeless, they have the plugs that you can use and plug a hole. I always carry a spare tube. This will work for either the tube or tubeless. That's why I like to carry it. And it's simple to swap out should you get a flat. Sometimes if you don't want to mess with patches and patch an inner tube, whether you have a tubeless tire or whether you have a tube tire, a spare tube will work for either one of those. So I always carry one. And then obviously make sure you have levers to get the tire off of the rim to actually change it, along with a multi-tool. This can be used for any number of things, from getting the wheel off. If you have anything that may come loose, your stem comes loose, your handlebars come loose, your pedals, always carry a multi-tool. These things right here are probably the most important things that you can carry with you besides water. There might not be anything else that you have to take depending on how long you're going to be out. There are a few other things that I do like to bring along with me, and I'll show you what they are. One of the things that I like to have is a set of glasses. These things were like $12 on Amazon, and they gave you all kinds of different lenses to put in it. You can put in, a lens like a sunglass lens. It has a polarized lens. It has some sort of blue blocker. I mean, there was like 6 or 7 of these. It was $12. And it also has it looks like it has inserts where if you have prescription, that you could get a set of prescription lenses to put in here. I probably could use some prescription lenses. I haven't. I've just been a little reluctant spending the money to get decent prescription lenses to put in this $12 plastic frame. I have just fear that they're just going to pop out, but it looks like it's there if you wanted to give it a try. I like to always have gloves when I ride. I like having gloves. If you fall, if you have to put your hands down, gloves are always a good thing, especially, and that's even on the trail or on the asphalt. Nobody likes to take a spill on the asphalt, put your hands down and get a nasty asphalt scrape. The pack that I use has some decent pockets. I like to have the pockets because I am carrying camera gear a lot of the time. And it's just useful for other things, which also could be for food, which is my next thing. So I like to carry a snack with me, usually something a little sugary, like and not a whole lot. I might just carry like a little mini chocolate bar or something. And also lately I've been carrying trail mix, particularly for my longer rides. If I've been out doing like a road ride or a bike trail or a rail trail, I know I'm going to be out for a couple hours. Every 10 miles or so, I just stop, take myself a handful of trail mix just to kind of keep the carbohydrates, keep the sugars up. For a while, I didn't do that, and I would really run out of energy, and just a little handful here and there actually goes a long way over a couple of hours. And then one last thing that sounds stupid, but I am always angry when I forget to do this. And it's just a simple, fix yourself a thermos full of ice water, keep it in the car. There is nothing better than getting back from a long, hot ride, getting all your stuff stowed, getting in the car, and having a thermos full of ice cold water waiting for you, because the water don't stay cold in the pack. You're drinking hot camel pee by the end of your ride. This is just something that every time I forget to do it, I am angry that I forgot to do it. So that's it. I just wanted to make a short video. Just wanted to talk about this. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it informative. If you do like this and content like this, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like. And if you have anything that you bring that I didn't talk about, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you're bringing along with you, because maybe it's an idea or something that I didn't think about. Until then, I'll catch you on the next one.